Welcome to Paralytic Activities Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things creepy, kooky, weird and spooky, all done with an ale or two. Welcome to
Thanks, Nick.
Repeating himself here, John.
You what?
Repeating himself here, John.
That's why it's twice you said that.
More repeating, Joy Bunny.
Welcome to Paralytic Activities Podcast, sponsored by Cafe Metro, Neil.
Yes.
Cafe of the Metro. Neil, we are on episode 15, and tonight we have got a new paranormal ale, all the way from Cafe Metro, Neil.
Have we?
Yeah, Estelle and Poulter. We call him Poulter because his name's Peter, but we used to call him Paul. So we just we couldn't remember. And Neil would go, "All right, Paul." And his name's Pete. I'd go, "All right, Pete." And Neil would go, "No, his name's Paul." So we just call him Poulter, as in Paul and Peter, don't we? Yeah. So yeah, thanks to Estelle and Poulter at Cafe Metro for tonight's paranormal ale, Neil. And have a guess who's back? He's been away for a while, Neil. He's been away since Florida. He ain't been in the Boodog Tavern. Have a guess who's back?
Oh, not Dead Ed.
Dead Ed is back. He's also been on his holidays, Neil.
Has he?
Yeah, he went to Barbados or Barbados.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. The other side of Barbados, Barbados.
Got a little visitor, John. Look.
Where am I
Yeah,
looking?
on my finger.
Oh yeah, little spider. Ooh. There you go. See you later. And he's going to tell us all about the spirits at Grace Jew Priory, Neil. And we're also going to discuss our weird night also at Grace Jew Priory. Neil, I have a phone message from the Yorkshire exorcist, Ian Lawmon. Neil, he's only giving me a right telling off.
Why?
Because we're doing the Yorkshire exorcist segment, that's why.
Oh, tell him to get a life, man. It's just a bit of fun here.
Well, what it was, Neil, apparently I've disturbed the demon world by doing the incantations from the last episode when I was doing the Evil Dead. And he's saying, "I've rated." He can't cope, Neil. He's overworked now because of it.
Is he?
So he sent me a right telling off by a phone message. Yes. Orange has also got us another story in Orange Spills the Juice, and a new little section for Flick the Screen. Instead of doing it in a nutshell, we're going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to give you one of my recommendations of an obscure horror film, what people probably have never heard of or probably never even watched. So I'm going to tell you about it and recommend it to you. So have some bloody that, Neil. So, like you say, we are Paralytic Activities Podcast. Neil is wrapped up here because it's absolutely freezing cold outside the Boodog Tavern and inside the Boodog Tavern. If anybody's watching on YouTube right now, it looks a bit like Frodo Baggins in Return of the King when that big spider has wrapped him in a cocoon. Neil's never watched Return of the King, people. Sorry.
No.
No, he's never watched any Lord of the Rings. Can you fucking believe it?
I don't like Michael Flatley, I keep telling you.
That's Lord of the Dance, Neil.
Oh.
It's different, completely. So, like I say, we are Paralytic Activities, and we'd like to start the episode with a paranormal ale. Neil, what have we got today all the way from Cafe of the Metro?
Well, I'm taking me robe off.
We've got our T-shirts on, Neil. That's what,
you know,
Paralytic Activities.
warm myself up a bit.
All the way from Treescapers, Mr.
Yes.
Alan Warman.
This is another nickname of mine, John.
So, yeah. It is
This
another
is,
nickname. More names than the devil.
Tony Rebel.
Why did they call you Tony Rebel, Neil?
It's the opposite effect, John, actually.
Okay, is that what it is?
Yeah. Anyway, Slay Puffed, Cherry Liqueur, Marshmallow Porter.
Can we show the can for the people on YouTube, please?
And
Neil?
you know what? That goes
You
to
still-
every time.
You don't know your left from right.
Right.
No, left.
Oh, right.
Left.
And this is from Cafe of the Metro, and it is the best ale bar and bottle shop in the world. And it's only in Bilston. Get your arses down there. They have entertainment on. They have cracking cobs, John.
Woohoo!
Cracking. Honestly, got these cobs are massive.
Yeah.
Like that. They have The ales and the beers are absolutely fantastic.
Freezing, Neil. Wow.
The people in there are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, such relaxed, nice people who like a nice drink. Don't get rowdy unless, you know, they're vinyl night. Just put Puff the Wedding Dragon on. The whole lot went up, John. The shit hit the fan that night, I'm telling you. And
But Neil, they're sponsoring us now.
I know.
We're gonna have our own little logo inside the pub. It's not really a pub. No, not yet. But I am gonna, Neil. I am going to do it, Neil. Anyway, have you shelled the can? You've done the description,
Yes.
Neil. It's time for the taste. Pour it, kid.
And it's 5.2%.
It sounds fantastic, Neil. It sounds fan-bloody-tastic.
Paul Daniels couldn't have done that any better, John.
Oh, yeah,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
Yeah, he poured
Let
it.
me
Yes.
pour it first. Dick splat.
Neil,
After John.
people listening don't know, do they?
Well, come on.
There you go. Sounds fantastic.
Tell you what. For a little can, there's a lot in it. To be honest, you know, when you have a pint, John, in the pub, you say that with a pint, wouldn't you?
Remember that pint of Guinness
That
we had
little can
in Disney Springs?
It's got, you know, you've had a good head on it.
Yeah.
Bit like me.
Yeah.
Right, that'd be a point.
Yeah. Go on, give us a taste now. Give us a rating on the old ale scale, pal.
That is. What it tastes like. You know, the
Let
cherry.
me guess. Like a cherry liqueur.
Yeah.
Do you know what it tastes like, Neil?
Because it's called cherry liqueur.
It's because it's called cherry liqueur, Neil. It's a stout, and it's ton red. But I have had it before, and it does exactly what it says on the tin.
Do you reckon they tip this in, the cherry liqueurs?
No.
Okay. Very nice.
I think it's fantastic.
Absolutely beautiful.
Me personally, because I had one yesterday.
That is really nice.
I would give that
5.2, man.
I would give that, Neil, a good solid 4.8 out of 5.
Well, John,
it's up there with one of the best.
With Tiny Rebel.
Yeah. Neil's within it now.
I'd say it's 5.9.
What, out of 5?
4.9, sorry.
4.9. Well, you can't get better than that, Neil. Can't get better than that.
That is really, really nice. And people who don't like this stuff,
I know what, Neil. I didn't. Not even I didn't understand that.
You need to try these ales, man.
Yeah, they are nice.
You really need to try them. You really do.
Like I say, with this one, you can taste the chocolate, you can taste the stout,
yeah,
you can taste the coffee, you can taste cherry liqueur. It's banging. I love it. Love it. You can sit there on a nice cold night, round the fire, watching Ant and Dec, and have about 4 or 5 of them. No problem.
Well, easy. No problem. Easy.
Anyway, Neil, let's move on to the comments from the last episode. We had loads of comments, Neil.
Did we?
Yeah, loads coming, but because I've got such a jam-packed show, thanks for the comments again. I'm only going to read out 2 of my favourites. Okay.
That's very nice, isn't it?
It's the way it is, Neil. It's the way it is. We're not a comment show, Neil. We've got loads of shit to talk about. Yeah, because now and again, loads of comments. I do. Shut it. Anyway, this is from our good friend, the Walsall Mothman, Neil. And it was his birthday last week.
I know it was.
So, happy birthday, Mr. Mothman.
Happy birthday, Mr. Mothman, Martin Lever.
21 again.
You and your gorgeous wife and all the rest of the gang need honouring for what you do.
Definitely.
So,
anyway, Neil, he says,
get that out there, John.
This is from the last episode, Mermaids, Deadites and Ghostly Monks, Neil, episode 14. When we was talking about Lily Shore Abbey, Neil, and we was in the car after it.
Yeah.
Back in the car after what you witnessed at Lily Shore Abbey, you said that you was dumbfounded. That's Neil Smith's normal look. Great podcast again, fellas. You should tell us more about your paranormal adventures. I did pick your brains at Cafe Metro once, but I think we got a bit drunk and we forgot about it, basically.
Yeah,
basically, that's exactly what happened, Neil. So he's saying that your normal look is a dumbfounded look. What do you think? There you go. And our good friend...
What is that, John?
I forgot her name. No, of course I bloody haven't. It's our good friend Hayley Summergill now.
Yes.
Our good friend. She put, had me a laughing like always. Who doesn't want to hear about finding a foot or a Glaswegian monk? That was all about the show.
Yeah.
She got a question, Neil, for the next one, which is this one. Have you ever been so scared you've screamed or not been able to sleep?
I have done, but it was paranormal.
Go on then. Share the love, Neil. Share the love.
John, no.
Share the love.
No. Carry on.
I have, Neil. I've got one
Yeah.
thing. Kept me awake for hours and hours and hours. I was at Hill House, Neil. And there was someone there called, I'm not going to mention his name, but he was like a trans medium. And he was telling me a story that he kind of like, he channeled a little ghost girl. The one last time he was there, he was outside playing hopscotch and smiling at all the visitors like a little girl would, you know, using a skipping rope and stuff, you know what I mean, licking a lollipop. And he was being took over by a little girl, Neil. Yeah. And he told me this, and as I went to sleep, I kid you not, I was in like an old room in this old building, and all I could envisage was this bloke skipping down the corridor in the dead of night, coming into my room, smiling and giggling. Neil, I would have drop kicked him into the next day. But could I sleep? Could I fuck? Because the fact of him, just the way he's smiling in my brain, in my melon, freaked me out, Neil. Freaked me out. So yeah, I don't scream though, but yeah, I was a bit like scared.
How do you think he felt, John?
He was asleep, Neil.
Was it?
Yeah, he was asleep. Anyway, she says my scariest experience was when I bought a second-hand book about a woman who escaped a satanic cult. And in the evening, I could hear 3 knocks around the house. Went on all night. Next day, I threw the book out. Never had anything strange in the house before or since. I also screamed like a girl. She is a girl. Screamed like a girl several times in the London dungeon when I kept being touched in the dark. But that's another story.
You know, I remember I used to work in them dungeons.
Yeah. Why you were sacked there? Why, Neil? Why?
I don't know.
Because you was touching all the bloody guests, Neil. That's why.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you right now. Anyway, cheers, Martin and Haley. Everybody else who sent comments. We'll probably get through a bit more next week, but we have got a jam-packed show, Neil. So let's get on with the podcast. Orange, what you been up to?
You don't want to know what I'm doing to you anymore?
Well, I do. That's why I asked, Neil. That's why I asked.
Well, I ain't going to go on about the Robin Hood experience, John.
Why not?
Because we're going to go on in a minute, by the looks of it.
No.
Oh,
I
went on the
Friday. They were just notes, people.
Went to Nottingham on a bit of a Robin Hood experience.
How did we get there, Neil? How did we find it?
Oh, we drove, John.
Yeah, but how did we find it?
Oh, we just followed the arrows. Nah. And we went in the what was it called? The Yaldi trip to Jerusalem.
The Yaldi trip to Jerusalem, and we met Mr. Dead Cold there, and it's dead cold right now, isn't it? It's freezing. We met Mark there, and he was having a nice ale in the garden.
He was, yeah.
And we catched up and stuff, Mr. Dead Cold. Anybody want to go and check out his YouTube channel? Go check it out. I recommend it.
What a bloke.
What a mon.
Hey, folks.
So what about the Robin Hood now? The
Robin Hood, it was we had a great night. We had a fantastic night, didn't we, John?
Yeah.
But I don't know about the paranormal side of it, John.
So I'll give you my thoughts, Neil.
You know, it's like a museum, ain't it? It's like you know.
Well, it is a museum, Neil.
I know it's a museum.
It's not like a museum. It is a museum.
It's all right.
To some degree, anyway. A lot of the stuff out there is not authentic. The curator has made it himself. Do you know what I mean? Like the shroud, it looked like a piece of toast. Anyway, but the guy who took us around, some of the things he was saying, he was like, is he all the ticket or what?
Yeah.
You know, it's some of the things he was saying about the paranormal and stuff. I mean, some of it, may be true, may have happened. I don't know. I mean, he was a fantastic bloke.
He was, yeah.
So friendly. But then when he said like a deer's head winked at him, I thought, oh my God, what we got here?
Yeah. And then
what have we got here?
Said,
a deer's head winked at him. He didn't even have any eyelids.
Yeah. And then like, there was a dummy of Fry Tuck.
Yeah, it was solid now, wasn't
Yeah, and he said that he touches women's bottoms. You know,
he? He was in the London dungeon, was he? A Teddy chance with Ailey.
I done a long vigil in there, John, and nothing happened.
That's what don't surprise me now. Not he can't even get touched by a solid plastic monk.
See his haircut, John.
Don't matter, Neil, about his haircut.
An egg in the nest.
Don't matter about his haircut. But there was me, you, Luke the Riddler Walker, Jack the McAvoy, and we had a special guest, haven't we, Neil?
We had a special
guest, Neil. Mr. Jack Kerwin himself, Mr. Gary Poundland, a local comedian to us. And he came up and he had a great time as well, didn't he? He had a fantastic time.
He loves the paranormal, don't he?
He does, yeah. And anybody who wants to check out his podcast, it's called Weird Arseholes. It's blue as blue can be, but you know what? It is hilarious. I advise you, go and check it out. It's as funny as this, but it's up there.
No.
It's up there. But yeah, we had a great time. I mean, the Robin Hood experience, we didn't see Robin Hood, so we didn't experience that. But it was a weird building because it's very slim. It's a slim building, but it's high. You got a basement and you got 3-4 floors. And there's a room, 2 rooms on each floor. It was like the Crystal Maze, wasn't it?
It was.
I expected Richard O'Brien to pop out with his harmonica at one stage. Do you know what I mean? Here we are, we're into the Aztec.
Yeah.
You know, but it wasn't. It was Sherwood Forest. But there's ghost foxes in there, which Jack loved because he loves his foxes. And we had a good old time. Did anything paranormal happen? I'm not sure. I ain't been through the footage yet. There's a bit with the K2 and stuff, and we had some scratching in the cave below the Robin Hood. But apart from that, not much really, I don't think.
No.
But we're doing a video anyway, so check it out on YouTube in the coming bloody weeks, Neil. Anyway, Neil, I just want to mention this one thing.
Go on.
Cafe Metro.
Yeah.
We went 2 weeks ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we was on this beer called Hell's ABK. Couple of beers, and then we went off to which obviously a couple of beers of that stuff, and you know about it. We went to the karaoke there. At our other watering hole, the Leathern and Bottle, which is old as shit, 1508, I think it is.
The old 11 bottle.
No, it's not the old.
It
There's no old, is there?
It is the old 11 bottle.
It's just the Leather and Bottle.
I thought it was the old 11 bottle.
It's that old. It's not even called Bottle.
It's Bottle.
It's Bottle, BOTTEL. That's how old it is. Another cream spelled bottle back in the day. But yeah, we went in there. We went on the old karaoke and we were smashed, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Got absolutely smashed. And it's all down to bloody Cafe Metro's ABK Hell because that's what got the party started.
Anyway, John, just a quick everybody like you're rubbing it on.
Yes, all right.
Saturday, I went to
just tell me to stop there. I don't mind.
Brilliant. Went to Manchester. Me and Jack of the McAvoy after the Robin Hood experience the next day.
Yeah.
And he booked this. I ain't going to say it was an hotel. I'm not going to say it was an house. I don't know what it was. When we pulled on the drive, John, it was like an haunted house.
So what was it, Neil?
I don't know.
Was it a hostel?
I don't know. Anyway, when we got there, we went to Sale and had something to eat. We met Louise there and so and so. And he found us up. He says, "Where are you guys?" I said, "We'll be back in about 20 minutes.
Well, Matt Barner, was he?
No. Let me get on, please. With Ben Elton's here again, eh? And I got there, and I found him. I goes, "Mohammed?" He went, "Yes." I went, "Where's the key? You've left us the key." You know where he left the key, John?
I have no idea.
On top of the car, on the drive.
Was it his house?
But it wasn't a drive. I don't know what it was. He left the keys on top of the car.
Where on earth would you stop it?
I don't know. And when we walked in, and the smell just hit like a Mike Tyson uppercut.
What did it smell of?
John, it looked like somebody had a buffet, and it was all rubbed in the carpet.
Oh,
that's what it was like as we walked in. Went up these stairs.
That's called filth, Neil.
Yeah. Went in this room. This is your room. He was there, by the way. We said not.
What did he send you telepathically?
No, he told us the number 4. Okay. But there was 2 doors.
Yeah.
Walks in the one room. Sound. Bit of a shithole, but I've looked around. There's a suitcase there, John. Pair of flip flops.
Fucking flip flops.
Yeah, you know, flippy flops.
In Manchester.
Flippy flops with the curl up thing on the end.
It was the Aladdin's.
Yeah. And there's some keys on the side. And I went, "Chap, is that our room?" And then finally, he goes, "No, yours is the one with the gaming chair." Went in there, gaming chair.
A gaming chair?
Yeah.
Was there a PlayStation in there?
No, there was a $1 bill and a controller, right?
Neil, it's his
It was
house.
dodgy as hell. And we put the YouTube on, and it was just like in Iraqi risings, everything that had been searched, and buildings are being blown up and stuff. And I thought to myself, we're going to be beheaded tonight. Ken Bigley, I'm going to be the new Ken Bigley. Honest to God, John, I'd actually sleep a wink all night.
Was there any uranium under the bed?
When uranium, honest to God, it was John, it was so dodgy.
Yeah.
And by the time we got there, and by the time we left, we never seen one person.
So who was in the other room with the suitcase and that?
I don't know.
What was in the suitcase?
I ain't got a clue. Probably
Jesus Christ.
Probably Mammy.
You're stopping some shitholes,
John,
you'll smell a shithole from a mile away, won't you?
It was Jacko. You know what it's called, John? The Wonderful Room. Room with a spew. It should have been called. Honest to God, it was so dodgy. We went to Bowlers after that. Had a great night to the rave. I seen a fellow paranormal friend.
Who was this, Neil?
Sarah Wyman.
Sarah Wyman.
First time I'd ever met her.
Phil Wyman's lovely wife.
Yes.
Lovely
girl. She was having a great time.
Fan-bloody-tastic.
And then, like, next day, I felt like cack. And that was my weekend.
You felt like cack.
Yeah.
And on that bombshell, people, we will move on to the podcast. Neil. Anyway, he's been waiting patiently in the corner up there.
Has he?
Yes. Our spirit guide, Dead Ed, has joined us.
How you been, Dead?
Now, Ed, Neil.
Ed.
He don't like to be called Dead. Even though he's dead, he don't like to be called Dead. He likes to be called Dead Ed, or Ed for short.
John, there's only D missing.
And it doesn't matter. So, Neil, Dead Ed's here, and he's talking to me now. He's had a great time in Barbados, not Barbados, and he's gonna go now. He's off. He's gone, Neil. He's gone. He's gone. He don't fuck around. He's gone to Thringston and Grace Dew Priory. Neil is there right now, and he's going to tell me the history and the ghosts of Grace Dew Priory. So if anybody can hear any whispering through the podcast, that'll be my spirit guide talking into my good ear. Can't talk into Neil's ear because both ears are deaf as a post. Ain't that right, Neil? Ain't that right, Neil?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Deadhead can only speak to me. So there you go. So Neil, Deadhead's there now, and he's talking to me now. So here we go. Okay, he's saying the Grace Dew Priory was an independent Augustinian priory near Thingston in Leicestershire, England, for our American listeners now. It was founded around 1235 or 1241. No one's too sure. And it dissolved in October 1538. Now, when it says dissolved, it doesn't mean it was made out of snow. No, it didn't melt in the summer months. Do you know what I mean? It was dedicated to the Holy Trinity and Saint Mary. Today, the site is managed by the Friends of Grace Dew Priory. And Ed's saying, don't get confused. It's not Ross, Rachel, and Chandler. Rest in peace, Matthew Perry. Yeah. It's not them friends, Neil. It's a charitable group of volunteers who fundraise to take care of the site and keep it open to the public for free. What was that, Ed? Yeah. He's now saying, Neil, the priory was fairly large back in the day, having in 1337, Neil, 16 nuns.
16 nuns?
He's telling me now that 16 nuns stayed at the priory. You can imagine the afternoon tea, can't you? When they're all gossiping around the fireplace, Neil. Did you hear what happened in EastEnders yesterday? And stuff like that, What did you get at the jumble? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Are we going to share a shower together? That kind of stuff, Neil.
Nuns don't do stuff like that.
How do you know, Neil? We don't know. We wasn't there. We was not there. It also had an attached hospital, which cared for 12 poor people. Ed, what do you mean by 12 poor people? Oh, he's saying there was 12 poor people, but there wasn't just poor. They were sick as well.
Jesus Christ.
They were sick.
You're crying a minute.
I know, yeah. The priory did, however, have some unusual practices. For example, the nuns were forbidden to ever leave the priory precincts, Neil. They couldn't leave, Neil. And Ed's telling me now why. Do you know why? No. Because one of the nuns got off the priory and went out playing knock door run. and red apple and stuff like that, and throwing stink bombs through people's letterboxes.
They had stink bombs in them days.
They had stink bombs in them days.
Yeah. What did they do? Just follow a pair of pants up and you know what I mean? What was that film? Nuns on the runs.
Nuns got the runs.
Nuns got the runs.
Yeah, so they were stopped from leaving that because one nun ruined it for everybody now. Ruined it for everybody. Now, Ed is now going to tell me about the paranormal phenomena that goes on at the Priory and the resident ghost. The Priory is reputed to be the site of frequent paranormal phenomena, sometimes attributed to the Prior's proximity to the Thringstone Fault. So any ghosts were around there, Neil. It's no one's fault. It's Thringstone's fault.
Is it Fred Flintstone?
I think, well, it was made out of stone, Neil. You know what I mean? Several ley lines and some possible pagan significance also happened at the Priory. Yeah. Pagans, Neil, they get everywhere, don't they? I mean, I can imagine now. What if these nuns, right, had like a split personality, and day there was in the day there was nuns. As soon as it went dusk and nightfall, everything changed, and there was pagans, and there was naked dancing around the fire. Yeah, Neil. Imagine that, Neil. Imagine that.
I am John.
Anyway, Ed's now telling me that the ruins are home to the mythical ghost, the White Lady. Neil, why are all the ghosts around priories and stuff like that always called the White Lady?
I've not got a clue, John.
Why, Neil? I want to know why. Why it's always the White Lady?
Because if it was in the dark, John, you wouldn't see her.
But ghosts come out in the dark, Neil.
I know, but if it was a black lady, you wouldn't see her, would you? That's what they're called, white ladies.
So I'm asking Ed, can you tell me why called the White Lady? Does it mean that she was white? Or people are seeing a ghost dressed in white? Because if that's the real one, nuns wore black and white, didn't they?
Yeah.
So where does the White Lady come from? He said, just shut up and get on with this. That's what he said. A comprehensive record of sightings dated back as far as 1926, with all accounts backed up by information sources. Many of the sightings share a remarkable resemblance in terms of description and specific locations, tending to revert to the white or grey apparition, Neil. So it ain't just white. Could be grey as well. She was robed with no hands or feet, hovering or gliding above ground level and appearing on the opposite side of the road to the Priory in the vicinity of an old bush shelter. Did they have bush shelters in the 1300s, Neil?
I don't think they did, John.
Well, why is she waiting in a bush shelter?
I don't know, John.
I don't know. I'm asking you. Ed don't know either.
But he wore a bush shelter.
But it said she's waiting in a bush shelter.
John.
She might have had an all-day saver.
John, no.
No.
Was a good song, Johnny? You know, 666 arrives at 10 a.m. No.
So why?
Why a bush shelter, John?
Why is the White Lady?
Just a shelter, not a bush shelter.
Why was there even a shelter there?
I don't know, John. Ask Ed.
Ed don't know either. So Ed's now also saying to me that the White Lady is believed to be Agnes Litherland, who was the prioress of Gracedale Priory in 1530. She had a child out of wedlock, and the child was cruelly drowned in the lake. Neil, I'm keeping you awake. Cruelly drowned in the lake, and Agnes was bricked up inside the priory as punishment.
Oh, very nice.
I know. I thought nuns were like holy people. Why would the brick up that old Agnes into the walls of the priory?
How did they brick her up, John?
I don't know, Neil.
Where did they get the cement from?
Neil, they probably used cack. You don't know. You don't know, dear. They could make anything back in the day, Neil. Make anything.
You know what I mean? They've got the mixer there. More, the trowel on that.
Agnes, sucking on a fag. Do you know what? I bet they've done it quickly, not like the people today. It takes them about fucking 4 weeks to brick her up. Too busy gassing and having fags and breaks and stuff like that. Anyway, so most people of the Priory believe there is multiple female ghosts. But Ed is telling me right now, and Ed is now with the White Lady, Agnes Litherland, and she's saying, no, I am the only spirit here. So there you go, people. If you believe there's more ghosts at Great Yew Priory, our Dead Ed's spirit guide, as spirit guide Dead Ed is telling us, no, it is Agnes, the White Lady. She's the only one who roamed of us along the grass at the Priory. So there you go. Now, someone should have told this. No, you ain't going to believe what I'm going to tell you right now. And anybody listening, you're not going to believe what I'm going to tell you right now. So, Ed, you should have told these people. These are the Leicestershire Paranormal Association. Now, I'm only going to read this because actually it made me chuckle. And to me, this is what is wrong with the paranormal world now. Now, I'm not mocking anybody. I'm not taking the piss. I'm not doing anything. I'm reading out what they have said. And it goes something like this. So the Leicestershire Paranormal Association requested a vigil on the Saturday night at the Priory to try and find out about the paranormal activity. Vigils of approximately 1 hour took place, and they visited various areas around the ruins, including the field containing the Standing Stone. Now, near the ruins of the South Range, 2 members of the group experienced a vision of a banquet with gentlemen and ladies eating off metal plates. Now, you can't laugh. Try and keep a straight face so they can see people eating off a metal plate. It might have been people having a picnic in the dark. People are weird around there, you know what I mean? And they also saw a boy playing a flute.
Jesus Christ.
Now, through the field across the brook, they also saw men, women, and children dressed for work on the farm. One woman named Fanny looked to be in her 30s, was wearing a light brown long skirt.
Her name was Fanny, John.
I don't know, because there was probably a medium there saying her name's Fanny, that is. That's definitely Fanny. You know what I mean? No one around here wore a beige blouse and have like an hair tied up in a bun, Neil. You know what I mean? Bit of a mousy look. So her hair was tied up in a bun. They could also see horses, cows, dogs, pigs, geese, hen and chickens, Neil. All ghosts. Horses and carts could be seen carrying wooden barrels. While sitting in a circle between vigils, there was a sudden gust of warm air.
Yeah.
It's probably Fanny.
Yeah, probably coming out of her.
Which went through the group and was felt by everybody. Now, a member described an old man she had seen sitting near the part of the ruin, and the name, what came through, was Alfred. So she described this person, Neil, that you could see at the entrance to the ruins, and she picked up that his name was Alfred. Now, 2 people had been invited to join the group, and they recognised the description of Alfred, and they goes, "That's me granddad." That's me granddad, and he had lived and worked on the Greystew estate. Now, another group member was very disturbed by a vision of 3 young soldiers being executed in an area near the entrance to the Priory. Finally, while the group was sat in a circle having a break, tea and biscuits, a couple of hobnobs, 3 black shapes began to move across the cloister area and approach the circle. But they was all relieved. It was just 3 people walking a dog. And that happened with the Leicestershire Paranormal Society on one night, Neil. They visioned all of this happening.
What's the last thing that it says on there, John? And that was the last time we did magic mushrooms or investigation.
Yeah, and that was the last time they'd done magic mushrooms or smoke a blunt when they'd
magic mushrooms.
Or dropping an acid, Neil, a bit of
same thing.
A couple of Dennis and Menaces or a rhubarb and custard. You know what I mean? But yeah, that to me is what's wrong with the paranormal, because not knocking it, and I'm not saying it didn't happen and they didn't say this, but more than likely they're off the tits, Neil. They've got to be off the tits.
John.
Off the tits, because it don't work like that. We all know people. Anybody in the paranormal field listening to this podcast right now would probably going, "What a load of tosh."
God.
So, Neil, I am
Yeah.
going to go through with you right now because you was there. Our invest at Grey Stew Priory. Do you remember it, Neil? Remember the night? It was
Vaguely.
It was wet. It was windy. It was that wet that Neil turned up at the Priory wearing a bin bag. Remember? He was wearing
yeah.
he was wearing a bin bag because he did like now. Never brings a coat. Me, the Riddler, and Blaster was all suited and booted in the proper gear. Neil turns up in his Adidas Sambas, and a bin bag. Yeah, so Batman arrived at the Priory, and that was just getting there. Now, there was a few people milling around. It was still light at this time. We'd done our paranormal out.
Yeah.
There's a couple of picnickers. It was probably them eating off metal plates, Neil,
Probably was. Huh?
for all we know. But as soon as it went dark, everything changed, didn't it, Neil?
Yeah.
The mood changed. What did you sense when it went dark, Neil? What was you feeling?
It was really weird. I don't know. It was just like you just knew something was around us. I know it sounded a bit weird, you know what I mean? But I didn't see nothing. But you just could sense something was going to happen that night.
Neil,
You just knew.
everything changed, and we started to feel quite anxious. We all, even Riddler, you know what I mean? He boxes for a living. Well, not for a living, but and he started to feel a bit anxious, didn't he? And I'm going to tell you why we all started feeling anxious. It was coming up to 11 p.m. Nothing had really happened. We tried all the gizmos. Old Faithful, the K2, the spirit box was going. We had a couple of sensors set up and this, that, and they're doing the normal call outs. We all split up now. We'd done lone vigils at different parts of the Priory, but nothing really happened until it reached 11 p.m. It was dark, it was wet, it was cold. The mist was coming across the grass. And Luke was getting tired. Neil said, I've got to be up at 5. Any chance we can wrap it up? So I was in the middle of the Priory. And what did we see across the road, Neil? No, it wasn't Agnes in the bus shop, in the bus shelter. It wasn't Agnes. What did we see across the road?
It wasn't actually across the road, was it?
Well, it was. He was actually.
He was. Yeah.
He was stationed on the road. He was in the road, in a car, just not moving.
And just flashing his lights at us. And
just flashing his lights at us. Flashing,
I thought
flashing,
it was Christine
flashing.
at one point.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, Christine, the car in that nutcase.
Yeah, it could have been Herbie.
I was
The love bug.
I was getting a bit anxious.
We all was, Neil. We all was. And at this time, I had just set up the Necrophonic app on my phone. Now, we always use this app. It's the only app we ever use, people, as a last resort. Because you never know. We have got some interesting stuff come through. So we thought, we'll try this because that get over the road, more than likely, Neil, he was one of the friends of Grey Stew Priory, looking after the place, knowing it was dark, it was wet, and you could see torches.
Yeah.
That's what I think, anyway. But we're making us anxious, nonetheless. Then we started hearing the barking of a lot of dogs, didn't we?
Yeah.
Was hearing all this noise, and this guy was just constantly flashing his lights from across the road and was getting really anxious. So I said to the Riddler, we'll do a little call out on the Necrophonic, and then we'll do one. So we set up the Necrophonic. We're there filming away, and I was getting a bit anxious at this point, and I just says, should we be here? Or should we stay here? Or one of the two. And a voice came through straight away on cue saying, no, John.
Yeah.
And for anybody watching now or anybody can hear, I am going to play that for you right now, Neil. If I remember how to do it. I have got it here. Bear with me.
I actually forgot about this, to be honest.
Neil, scary. Ready, people? Turn your volume up. Should we be here or not?
No, John.
Should we be here or not? So there you go, people. You heard that quite clear.
Yeah.
No, John. The second bit, we've slowed it down so you could hear a bit clearer, but it definitely says no, John, Neil. For no apparent reason. We'd only had the Necrophonic running for 5 minutes, and the lights were flashing, and he was making everybody anxious. We thought, we're going to do this. We go, shall we stay? No, John. So, do you know what? We turned it off, and we fucked right off, didn't we, Neil?
I was up for a ruckus.
We all was, Neil. We was all ready to go. But we thought, we'll just go and get out of here. That's what we did because if something through if it's a ghost or if it's just a total coincidence, we thought it's a warning. Let's go, and we did. Trouble is, we got to go through the woods. It took half an hour to get through the woods down at Neil. So what can you do at that time of the night, in the cold, in the dark, when there's somebody flashing you and got dogs, and a spirit app has told you to do one? What is the one thing you do? You carry on getting to the car, don't you, to get out of there? Yeah. What did we do, Neil? What did we do?
We walked him back. I mean, was it a river, John?
It was like a little kind of trickling river.
And we done a rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody, haven't we, John?
We did.
And it just come out of nowhere, you know what I mean?
Out of nowhere. I was wrapping up the video, and it looked, the torch was on me, and then Neil come behind me, then the Riddler come behind me, and it looked like the video for Bohemian Rhapsody. So we just done a rendition, haven't we?
Yeah.
And I think it ended the video perfectly.
It was.
So please go and check out the video at Grace Due Priory. It's good. There's some good paranormal stuff on there, but it's funny, and that's what it's all about, Neil.
Yeah.
Go and check it out on YouTube on our channel, Paralytic Activities. And as we got to the car, we saw a big guy walk past, Neil, with about 6 dogs there.
Yeah.
6 bloody dogs. To me, he was one of the friends of Grace Due Priory, just looking after the place. Fair play to him.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Good on him. Good also.
Yeah, Neil. On that bombshell, we're going to take a wee break.
Okay.
A bit of carp diem. Enjoy, people. It's going to be a quick break. We'll come back with Orange Spills the Juice.
Oh, God. Refreshing, there you go. Oh, I'm going to tell you. You know, Saturday we went to a hotel.
I want an hotel now.
Anyway, when we got back, it was an accident at Poor House with prostitutes there.
It's a brothel.
Kind of thing. It's like, the one I had taken. It was a bit like that.
Yeah.
I've gone and there's a knock on the bloody door, and Ammy's there with this walker. Oh, shit, I don't know what to do, you know what I mean? I just froze. I went, "Oh, you're very nice. I like your hair," rubbing hands from you and all that. And she went, "What have the section of 50 quid?"
Where was Mummy from, Neil?
I don't want to do an Indian accent, you know what I mean? Just get offended, you know. Hey, man, you want to know what I'm doing? I'm 50 quid here, anyway. Mammy, I'm not in the mood. I'm tired. I've only got 30 quid to my name. You know what I mean?
You'd have bought 20 off Jack.
No. When she dropped it to she bought me 20. Yeah.
I doubt that very much.
It's the truth, I tell ya. You're the best 5 seconds she's ever had.
That was just to get your belt on. We need to go back.
Yeah.
So there you go, people. I hope you enjoyed a bit of carp diem there. You know, lovely song.
Oh,
I'm going to change the song soon for a nice Christmas song. You know what I mean?
John, do not put Mariah Carey on.
Neil,
that's a lot's going to go.
I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to put Mariah Carey on. Mariah's scary, I'll call her.
What about Booster Jab Time, John?
It could do, Neil. We could put Booster Jab Time on. Neil's excellent #1 hit from 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. 2022, and he's going to bring it out again for 2020. He's like the local Noddy older.
Neddy older.
Neddy getting older.
John, I've done it last year, that video.
Yeah.
Not the year before. The year before was called COVID Jab Time. It was a different video. I like to spice her up a bit, you know what I mean?
All right. Scary spice. That's Tommy Cooper.
Yeah.
Anyway, people, it's time for Orange Spills the Juice. Now, people who know Neil or know friends of the podcast will know that Neil is the most unluckiest person on the planet. And he's got another story for us now. Neil, what is it?
It's only a quick one, John.
That's what she said the other night.
This is the Neddy Stare incident.
The Neddy Stare. As in Fred Astaire.
Yeah.
Neddy Stare.
Yeah.
You was Ginger as well. You could have been Ginger Rogers and all. Go on then, Neil. Fire away.
Well, I think it was the late 90s, I think. And I went out, had a few beers, a bit of a session, you know what I mean, John?
Yeah.
And I come back home, walked in the living room, and my mum, bless her, and my dad was there, drinking. John, there was about 20 cans of Strongbow at the side of my dad. And they were sloshing his, after he's just watched all the Saturday night TV. It was, you know. Yeah, he changed, does he? But he has changed, he's cut right down. And I went, all right, Ace, yeah, I had a couple of cans with him, so and so. Took myself off to bed. I could tell he was sloshed. Went to sleep. About an hour later, my mum comes in the room. Your dad ain't feeling very well in the bedroom. He's got all pains in his chest. I'm like, God, it's got to be the acid. If I've drunk 10 cans of Strongbow or whatever,
I'll be bubbling.
yeah, it's heartburn, John?
Yeah, it's heartburn, yeah.
But he was convinced he's having an heart attack. Oh, I'm only young, you know what I mean? So I've gone to, I found the ambulance company up, and my dad's there, you know, frothing up the mouth. He won't really. And I can tell him he's rat eyes, John. I'll still, to this day, I'll still reckon it was bad heartburn.
Yeah, okay.
So when I got in when I got run down the stairs, right, I stood on bare feet on a load of certain things that my dad had knocked off the fireplace.
Yeah.
We used to have a big boot, like
a copper boot.
A copper boot on top of the fire, and there've got to have been 100 drawing pins in it. Why there was in there, I don't know. We're obviously being sloshed and trying to turn the lights off. He knocked them all on the floor. And I mean, there was all over the carpet, John. So I've run down the stairs, barefooted, by the way, to go and find an ambulance. I've run in the living room, and I've gone, John, there's got to have been, and there's no exaggeration, 20 in each foot. It was ridiculous. I was in that much pain pulling them out while I talked to them. She went, am you all right? Am you still... Well, me, it was my dad who was upstairs. It was the ambulance full of. I've got 20 drawing pins in each foot. You know, and I'm there tap dancing, you know, in the living room. And
Lionel Blair.
Lionel Blair, John. But yeah, it was so painful, man. Honest to God. I've had that many things stuck in my feet, John.
He's had more nails in him than Jesus.
I have, honestly. I'm surprised I'm still walking.
I know. I'm surprised you're still walking now, to be honest.
But yeah, so that was it, really. But it was, you know, another...
But all them pins now, you could have done like a Royal Rumble with Mick Foley. Or your Terry Funk.
Oh.
You know what I mean? The drawing pin match.
So yeah, I was like bloody Roy Castle.
So there you go, people. If anybody wants to know how many things Neil's had in his foot, please ask the question and we'll answer it next week.
Yeah, I've had some right weird things stuck in my foot.
I'm saying nothing about that. Neil, you'll never guess what's happened.
What?
Last episode, right? I've done a Evil Dead in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And I read out the incantations to bring back the Evil Dead, basically, the Deadites.
Yeah.
You know, Kanda, Estrada, all that. I've done the incantations.
So that'd be great.
And a certain person has listened to the podcast and he's fuming, Neil. Absolutely fuming.
Get a life, mate. Get a life.
So I had a voice message on my phone, Neil, from none other than Ian Lawmon, the Yorkshire exorcist, Neil.
Never.
Yeah, the Yorkshire exorcist.
Can't believe he listens to it.
Neil, he does. He loves it. Well, he did.
He did.
He did, but now he's too busy now with all these demons.
Oh, for God's
So he sent me a right nasty message, Neil.
What's
Do
that?
you want to hear it?
Go on then. I'll be telling you nasty.
Neil, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah. This is for that John Smith over there at that paralytic activities. You daft bugger. I've been hearing that you've been doing incantations, raising dead, releasing people from their slumbers, the demons. Well, I'm not happy because I've encountered at least 3 people this week that have been buggered by trees, coming round, getting possessed, all up in me grill. That's what kids say, I think. Any road. Yo, you daft airpit, pack it up. Don't do it again. Yo. Because I tell thee, if I have to come down there into Brewdog Tavern, I'm going to thump you. Right up the chop holes, you little bugger. Pack it up, will you daft apit?
No need for that.
So there you go, Neil. There you go. The Yorkshire exit is not happy with when we done Evil Dead in a
What's
Nutshell.
on about the tree? What's on about the branches on the tree? Buggered him.
Because in the film, Neil, the girl gets raped by a tree.
Oh, yeah. Was it a stonker tree?
Yeah, so he ain't happy, Neil. He ain't happy. And do you know what? I'm gonna have to send him I'm gonna have to send him a voice message on my own just to apologise, Neil, because now he's overworked.
I don't care.
His new show has been put back a month. It's been
care.
put back a month. Now the Yorkshire Exorcist has been put back a month because of it.
I don't care, John. It's that part of our show. And he's staying on the part of the show where we
Well, we're doing the Exorcist in a nutshell next week. He's gonna be on the phone again next week. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Tickled me. Anyway, the Riddler, our good friend Luke One Take Walker, is taking a week off from the Cryptid Factor this week because he was so shocked at the message, he couldn't get his head around it, Neil. So he's had to take a week off from the Cryptid Factor, but he assures me that he's back next week with another Cryptid Factor, Neil. So there you bloody go.
I ain't scared of Ian Lorman, John.
Who?
The Yorkshire Exorcist.
No, it's not Ian Lorman, Neil. It's Ian Lorman,
Ian Lorman, then.
the Yorkshire Exorcist. Neil, do you like a milkshake?
I do like a milkshake.
Get your choppers around this. He did as well, people. He did. That's gone. That's gone, baby. Solid gone. I said I below the bear. Anyway, it's time for Flip the Screen, people, my favourite section. And Neil, we do a little section like, you know, every week. It's called Guess the Horror Shit Title, Neil.
Oh, yeah.
And this film, guaranteed Neil has never watched it and he knows nothing about it. So I'm just going to give him the title and he's going to tell me what it's about, Neil. Neil, today's movie is Zombie Ass.
Zombie Ass.
Toilet of the Dead. What's it about?
I've seen few Toilets of the Dead, John.
What's it about, Neil?
Oh, God. Is it about a serial crappist?
Serial crappist.
Who goes around killing people with a turd.
You're probably in that room you stopped in Manchester. You said it smelled like cack.
It did, John, I'll tell you.
Come on, Zombie Ass, Toilet of the Dead. What's it about? What's the synopsis of the film?
Zombie Ass. I don't get the Aspie. Zombie Ass.
Yeah.
Is it a zombie who's got an ass for an head? Yeah.
No, but that sounds like a good film. Write that down.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Zombie.
Sounds better than this one.
An ass for an head. Does he flush people down the toilets?
Now, we could be here all night, I'll just tell you. So, Zombie Ass, Toilets of the Dead. It's about a young karate student, and he accompanies 4 older friends on a trip into the woods. Now, things start to go badly when they find a parasitic worm inside a fish. But they eat it anyway, Neil. They eat this fish anyway, even though it's got a worm in it. Now, the one girl who eats it, she eats it because she hopes that it's going to make her feel skinny. It's going to keep her skinny.
Boy.
I don't know, Neil. Maybe the parasitic worm will eat all the fat. I don't know. Now, her stomach later feels horrible, and she relieves herself in the host house. Now, the parasitic worm she ate had apparently laid eggs in her stomach and came out of her in a diarrhea attack.
Oh, no.
Soon after, they are attacked by a crowd of poo-covered undead. Now, the group seek refuge in the home of the Doctor, a strange doctor who conducts experiments on the zombies and the parasites, and who has another fate in mind for the 5 strangers. Can karate help them escape? Or will she have to rely on the liberating power of flatulence to defeat her demented captor?
So she's cacked these zombies. Then.
Yeah, she's had the diarrhea, Neil. She had the shits, had the 2 bob bits, and the worms come out, and it's gone into the ground, and there's buried people under the ground, and the shit has gone onto the dead bodies, and it's made them come out the ground covered in shite and start attacking people.
John,
Zombie ass, toilet to the dead.
Funny. How much shit has she got inside of her?
It must have been a lot, Neil. It must have been a lot. I haven't seen
been a
it.
fucking mudslide, John.
It must have been. Now, a little trivia thing about the film: the actress who played the shitting girl, Asana Mamoru, while she was doing the scene, she had to control her bowel movements while filming the diarrhea scene, just so that she didn't shit on the zombie actor. But in the film, some of the farts heard were real. How funny is that, Neil? So that, my friends, is the synopsis, the story, the film, Zombie Ass, Toilet of the Dead.
I'd watch that, actually.
Do you know what? I might find that, Neil. But the reason we do Flip the Screen tonight, and we're not doing it in a nutshell because Ian Lawmon has put me off for at least a week anyway. So I'm going to give you my movie appreciation awards for the obscure horror films. People, beware, because there is spoilers ahead. Let me just find it. So anyway, the film we're going to talk about tonight, Neil, is a film called Malignant. It is a...
Angelina Jolie.
No. Why would Angelina Jolie be in Malignant, Neil?
That's Maleficent, eh?
That's Maleficent, yes, Neil. That's yeah. Let me just find it. I've turned my phone here somewhere. Here we go. So anyway, it's a 2021, directed by James Wan from The Conjuring fame, Neil, and Insidious and other films like that. And it stars Annabelle Wallis as Madison. Now, Annabelle Wallis, if people don't know who she is, she played the blonde scorcher in Peaky Blinders season 1 and 2. Not what's that either?
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You ain't watched Peaky Blinders?
I watched some of it.
Now you tell me, lad. Anyway, so yeah, she plays that. And this is the plot. In 1993, Dr. Florence Weaver, she treats a violent, disturbed patient named Gabriel at a research hospital. He's able to control electricity, and his thoughts come through broadcast through speakers. Now, you're probably thinking, I ain't watching that shit, but please bear with it. Now, after Gabriel kills several staff members, Dr. Weaver determines that he is a lost cause and the cancer must be removed. Ooh, what does she mean by that, Neil? The cancer must be removed from this Gabriel geezer who killed people. I'll tell you. I'll tell you in a minute. 27 years later, a pregnant woman, which is Madison, played by her out of Peaky Blinders, the blonde scorcher, yeah, returns home to her abusive husband. Now, during an argument, Derek, her husband, smashes Madison's head against a wall, drawing a lot of blood, Neil. Now, after locking herself in the room, she has a nightmare of a person entering the house and killing Derek the twat, the woman beater. Kills him, stone dead, Neil. Have some of that. Now, after that, Madison, the blonde scorcher from Peaky Blinders, she starts having visions, Neil, of that person who murdered Derek the twat and killing other people. Now, she tells the cops, and lo and behold, Neil, she's getting it all right. It's all spot on. Every vision she has, they go and find, she tells the coppers, and they go there, and that person's dead.
That's good, eh?
It is. Has she got the insight? Has she got a third eye? Or can she see the future? This is the spoiler, people. This is the spoiler. No, she is the killer. Or, sort of, she is the killer. Now, do you remember I told you about Gabriel at the start and cutting the cancer out? Yeah? Gabriel was Madison's parasitic twin brother. What I mean by that, that they was joined and they had to cut Gabriel away from her. So the young girl, but this Gabriel, he was the parasitic twin. Now, when she had the bang on the head, it awakened the part of the brain which was Gabriel's. So Gabriel is now awoke, and he goes around killing people. A bit like Jekyll and Hyde, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Gabriel takes control of her brain. She's not Madison anymore, this blonde scourge from Peaky Blinders. She's now Gabriel. And there's clues through the film. Like one clue, you see this black shape running after she just killed someone, but it looks like she's running backwards, or it's running backwards. So it's running forwards, but the feet look backwards and the head looks backwards. Do you know what I mean? Because Gabriel has come out the back of the head where the bang was.
Yeah.
So his face has come out the back of the skull. So now Gabriel's took control of her, but he's seen that way, but Madison's facing that way. You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this film keeps you gripped all the way to the end, and it ends in an explosive finale. Now, the monster Gabriel takes control of Madison, and he goes around kicking fucking ass. A bit like an evil John Wick, a bit like Jason Statham on crack, a demonic superhero. But he don't save people. He tears them all a new arsehole, basically. The prison scene is absolutely brilliant at the end, Neil.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. Please go and check it out. It's a great film. It's a great horror film. It's kind of an original horror film as well. I would give this, in my new movie appreciation awards, Neil,
Yeah.
I would give it 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's that good. I really enjoyed it. A lot better than a lot of films you see recently anyway. But yeah, Malignant. Go and check it out, people. It's worth a watch. It's worth a watch. Or if you don't want to watch it, you can go on YouTube and you can watch the prison scene at the end. It is brutal. It's brilliant, Neil. It's so good. So good. I'll show you after this podcast, Neil. How about that?
Okay.
Just a little treat for yourself.
Yeah.
So there you go, Neil. Episode 15 is DUN. DUN done. Neil, you got anything else to add?
Not really. Just, the same old stuff that we always say, John. If anybody wants to get involved with the podcast,
Leave a
give
comment.
us some ideas.
The views are going up, Neil. The views are going up. We're getting not some nice hits on YouTube. We're getting nice hits on the old podcast, and really appreciate it. Really do. Now, if you got this far, good on you. You will do for us. That's all I've got to say about that. Neil, if they want to leave comments, they can. We always get the comments off our regulars, our podcast, what we call them, our fan club, Neil. Our fan club. Yes, that's what it is.
Plus, it's the run up to Christmas. So the next time we'll be doing this, it will be the run up to Christmas.
Yes.
And if you behave yourself, I might even do my Christmas song on here.
Oh God.
Can
you do a shorter version though? I don't like dead silence, Neil. I don't like dead silence.
Shorter version.
They actually went on for 10 minutes.
No, we did not, John. How dare you?
Neil, you do what you want.
Well then,
do what you want. I'll be happy, and everybody will be happy anyway.
I know, we're trying to. You obviously don't like it, does it?
It's brilliant, Neil. It's brilliant. I watched it again the other day because you put it back on Facebook. Absolutely fantastic. Fan-bloody-tastic. Anyway, Neil, we need to wrap up the show. Episode 15, DUN done. It'll be on YouTube in the next 3 or 4 days. Please go and listen to it. Go and watch it. But if you've listened to this, please leave some comments on any way you can. Send us a message. You can send me an email, flashwba@yahoo.co.uk, any way you want, or Neil's phone number, 064 7474 7474.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your PIN number, Neil.
Nothing in there anyway, John.
So, Neil, we'll just wrap it up right now. So, Neil, to all you ghost catchers out there, to all you alien twitchers, to all you cryptid stalkers, and to you horror junkies out there, if you are out this weekend and you do not get any spirits, Neil, just do what we do, Neil. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
We enjoy ourselves and we just drink them instead.
We drink them instead, people. Have a good, safe weekend, and we'll see you maybe next week or maybe the week after. Bon, I did douche.